look at it this way: we are all bad actors.
Mm.
We are all bad actors. What does that mean? That means that everything that we think that everybody else can't see, they can.
Mm.
Yeah, everything that we think that they can't see, they can see it all. It doesn't matter how you approach the situation. There's the question because the first problem with that is that it will be inconsistent with your past behavior. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and that will turn over the patterns.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the patterns that we lay down and we set must continue, otherwise everything must change.
Mm.
So to 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 not be, yeah, we think that we think we wear the mask well, but we don't. Right? Everybody sees through the mask.
Mm.
So it's probably quite obvious to your husband and everybody else that your communication in this way is actually communication in that way. It's much less of a mask. It's much less hidden than we think it actually is hidden. In fact, the best way to hide things is to display them.
Mm.
Yeah, if you want to hide something, put it in the middle of the kitchen table. Nobody will look at it, and nobody will look. Yeah. Nobody will look at it, and nobody will look for it if it's there. What is your fear?
Mm.
Well, here's the point, right? It's the things that we see in others are very often things that we haven't completely recognized within ourselves. Now, sometimes we have recognized them, but sometimes we haven't. So what I'm looking for is patterns. I think life has patterns, and that when we understand the pattern, we understand how everything connects together. Um, so the pattern is that there's this frustration in your husband's position not developing in any way, and you're trapped in your own position that can't develop in any way as well. Um, it's it's tricky, and what I wanted to get at earlier was um, that that with the growth of the company, it's necessary to bring in other people to do other things, and the dynamics of the growth of the company haven't really changed much, and you're trapped in this position as this CEO of the company, and you need to bring in somebody else to make the decisions that you're making. There's pressure building because nothing because the- there's little boxes. We're stuck within the little boxes, and there's this little box with you and your job and your position, and it's frustrating to you that it's probably frustrating to you that you can't grow much beyond that. I mean, I would. You're obviously energetic, enthusiastic, motivated, and highly intelligent regarding the material that you're dealing with, and so there's no reason why the company can't diversify or expand sideways at least and
Mm.
branch out into some other area that interests you and could also provide another income stream, and not to lose the core of the business, but to seek to diversify. And in order to do that, you probably have to bring in somebody else, or reorganize the structure of the company, uh, which will be difficult at first and will upset people, but transition is something that can be worked on, and it can be done smoothly. It needs transparency. It needs everybody to understand what is going on. It needs the understanding that there will be some changes that people don't like, but overall there will be more good than bad,
Mm.
and that is the progression that needs to happen. There's no way that there's no way that your husband can do your job with things in the situation that they're in, but at the at the same time you need to. I mean, what's going to happen if you don't double check on everything, right? That you've got this fear, right, that things are going to fail. Yeah. Now this is a result of patterns that have developed, and we, along with us being right about a lot of things, people who have a lot of experience tend to be right about the things that they're talking about. Along with that, we have to understand the contrary side, which is there is more than one way to do everything.
Mm.
And that our one way, the way that works for us, may not be the only way and may not even be the best way. It might be the best way for us, but it might not be the best way for other people as well. And think about when your sons grow up. You think about, a lot of people who have their own companies are sort of thinking in the back of their minds, when our children grow up, if they don't find a career of their own, they can always come back and work in the company or direct the company, or they'll always have a job in the organization. And that itself will require restructuring now to prepare for that potential future. Maybe if you have two kids, the chances are that one of them will work for you, right? The chances are that one of them will work for you. So I think that a lot of people see their companies as their babies, often something like that. That
Mm-hmm.
they've grown up with the company, and the company's
Yes.
very much a part of them, and it's very hard to disconnect the people themselves from the company. But if you don't do it at some point soon in some way, you're gonna die with it, right? Or it's gonna drag you down if it goes down. And you I think that successful people need to find that difficult and awkward and always changing balance between uh, directing and running the organization, and finding other people that we can trust to direct and run the organization as well. Um, and I think that's the next level for you. I think there's no challenges at the present level for you. I don't think you're challenged. You're frustrated. You're not challenged. You're just frustrated. You're frustrated by the same problems.
Mm.
And that's not that's not the challenge. The challenge is to step beyond that. The challenge is to grow beyond that. The challenge is to find the new position for yourself. Maybe your husband will rise to the challenge, or maybe he gets crushed by the weight of the task. It's these are things that are often difficult to predict. That look, here's what's in my mind. You're so focused on the one thing that you can't change that you don't see the other opportunities.
Mm.
You're so focused on wanting your husband to be better at the things that he's
Yes.
doing.
Mm.
Belief is not naive if it motivates us to do the right thing.
Mm.
It's
Okay.
not. It's not. That's not. How many people believe in God? You're not going to turn around and say, well, they're all naive, right? I mean,
Okay.
that's
Okay.
that's
Yes, you're right. Mm-hmm.
because you have more experience. The one thing that you need to do is channel this knowledge and experience into growth,
Mm.
because you can't escape completely from the situation because no one knows more than you about it. Now that's a trap that you've put yourself in. Um, I know about that trap as well because I've done it myself in parts of my life, and I've seen other people do it as well. We make it's the challenge that a lot of entrepreneurs have, which is they make themselves so essential to their company that
Mm.
that they almost get drowned in the work that they do. They
Shipwreck.
drown
Mm-hmm.
underwater. You get pulled underwater
Mm-hmm.
by
Strand
the
podwater. Mm-hmm.
yeah by the weight of everything because you make yourself so important. Now, the the, the next level is to still be important, but to get the company to run without you being the essential key part of the organization. That's the next level, which is a little bit like letting go of your children, right? When they leave home and they go away. Letting let,
Wow.
letting go
Mm.
tells us what we need to know. It will either confirm or deny the beliefs that you have. You let go and things get into a mess, uh, or you let go and things reorganize themselves into another different pattern that works. Um, Now, I would suggest bringing in somebody else uh, to to manage and organize things to give yourself the space to diversify because look at having 2 or 3 income streams from different elements that channel in to uh, the main work as well. Find an element of the work that interests you and focus on that yourself. And I guarantee you will suddenly become less interested in your husband's mistakes and more interested in your own growth. Um,
Mm.
we we need to learn to listen. I mean, that's one of those fundamental key skills. And what I mean by that is have open communication, which is there's nothing wrong with putting forward an idea that could either be accepted or rejected. If you can't tell people what you think, you don't have much of a relationship.
Mm.
Right? If you can't be
But
honest about your ideas, like what if this idea that you have is absolutely fantastic and really the best way for the company to go forward, and your husband says no? I mean, what does that
mm.
do, right?
Mm.
What does that tell you? I mean, that tells you that you're right. You can't trust your husband to do it.
Mm.
And what does that tell you? Well, that gives you more information. That gives you more truth. What do you have when you have more truth? You're able to make better decisions, and you're not stuck in the middle, which is ultimately the worst place to be because you can't what if land kills businesses. What if it's like fuck it, go you go forward and do whatever it is that needs to be done. And you still listen to other people, you take on board their ideas. You've got to realize there's not one way to do everything, right? There's absolutely not one way. There are many ways to do everything, and a lot of the time, other people's ideas are 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 definitely different from ours. Sometimes they'll even be better. Sometimes they'll be worse. There's nothing wrong with accepting and rejecting ideas. Decisions is how we go forward. Um, the more difficult decisions that we are prepared to make, the better the opportunities become. Um, so here's another thing. Very often when you do the right thing, everybody hates you. Like,
Mm.
very often when you do the right thing, everybody hates you, right? And let's take a crazy example, right? A crazy example is imagine you're the leader of a political party and you do the right thing in government. You make the right law, you make the right policy. Well, if 50% of people are going to call you names and tell you you're a horrible person, and then half the country is going to dislike you and blah, 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 even if you do the right thing. So if you do the wrong thing, they complain. If you do the right thing, they complain. Um, so you've got to, and I think leaders realize that there's no point waiting.
Mm.
There's no point waiting around for the right time and the right place for things to happen. It's like, we're going to do this, and that's it, and I'm leading us in this direction, because we need some kind of leadership. We have to go somewhere. We have to do something. The future is uncertain anyway. I mean, it's very important to be clear that any change could go in any direction, right? I mean, you can have massive growth, but you can also have massive failure. I mean, this is, you want to understand that, look at the stock market, right? Prices every day. One day you're rich, next day you've got nothing.
Mm.
And if you know that tomorrow you're going to have nothing, you would do something to change it. But these people don't know. They don't. It's unpredictable. Um, so, so the question is about risk levels. What banks do with risk assessment. What is the risk involved in the process? Are we prepared to take the risk? Um, you know, what's the enemy of great? The enemy of great is good. Because with good, everyone is semi-satisfied. But you never get to great because you're semi-satisfied and you're scared to change. So, so it's hard. There's no change without some level of risk involved. But the more intelligent people make, the better choices in that respect. You can spend the next 20, 25, 30 years frustrated about where you are, or you can do something. You can do something this week, which makes a difference, and you. What's that saying? You miss all the chances you don't take. You miss all the chances you don't take. You don't miss anything. You don't miss anything you do because you always learn. You don't miss anything you do because you always learn. I was writing something about that earlier. Can't remember what it was now. So what's important for you, the way that I see it, is that work must allow you to breathe, not suffocate. Work must allow you to breathe and not suffocate. You need a challenge. You need to challenge yourself. Forget about challenging other people. It's really easy to challenge other people. Go challenge yourself, right? Go challenge yourself and then fail. And then see how other people react to your failure. See if they come and help you or they shit on you, right? Right. I mean, that's part of it. Find out who your real friends are. Yeah. You know,
Oh, yes.
so that's challenges. Challenges have the opportunity to also bring people together. It can go in opposite directions as well, but that's the test, isn't it? Right? That's the test. You know, what's that marriage vow? In sickness and in health, till death us do
Oh,
part.
yes.
Right. So, you know, that relates to everything that we go through in life. That there's business always has potential failure. 4 out of every 5 new businesses fail. Like 99% of all businesses fail in a 10-year period. It's only 1% that's successful. If you create a successful business that runs for 10, 15, 20 years, you're in the top 1% already. It's probably time to step up to the next level. If you don't go to the next level, somebody else will somewhere else. Move forward or get left behind. Provide growth. Growth is learning. You know, that's the challenge. The challenge I see it is how far can you go? Forget about what everyone else is doing. That's irrelevant, right? Your husband's not going to change no matter what you do. So how do you affect him in the best way possible? You change the environment. People adapt to new environments very quickly because they have to, because they've got no choice. You want examples? Chernobyl. There's an example. Right. You can't live here anymore. Right. You know, the Russian nuclear station blows up and everyone has to, right? Everyone has to move. Well, that's it.
Yes.
There you go. So, So yeah, you're we we begin to nag other people when we start to not fulfill our own potential.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And what that means is you're not really picking on your husband. You're picking on yourself because you know that you're better and you know that you can do more. And you know you've got skills and you know you're untapped, you're unchallenged by those things. And and the best way to extend beyond a problem is to grow out of it.
Mm.
Yeah, to growth, the challenge of growth, the new context of growth, the calling people you haven't called before because you don't know how to do something because you've never done it before. Hi, it's me. I don't know how to do this. Help. Right? Or I want to go in a different direction. Or and we're I think in life, at least me, I'm constantly surprised by how much opportunity there is for other things to happen, for other growth to occur, for different directions to go in, for ideas to become reality, for dreams to become real in what it is that we do. Um, so it's we it's like so far everything's good, but the dynamics of the company haven't changed much in the last 10 years according to your descriptions. And I think that 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 you need to grow. Look, it's a small organization. I think you could function very well in a large organization. Um, um, and it's look, ego plays a part as well. So um, we have to let go of our own ego, which means attachment to things that are seemingly important but really not very important at all, like our job position, right? It's just a job position. Um, it it's not the far more important in life is how we communicate with the people that we love than our job position. So
Mm.
um, so we can't get so tied to it. It's like, oh, what if somebody else gets promoted? Who cares? Right? Who cares? Like in a marriage, who cares? Like I'm not going to love you any less because you have a different job. I'm not going to love you any less because it's a different job position. You know, I don't I don't love you any less because there's something else that we have to do in the company. I don't love you any less um, because we both realize this might be better for the company, and if it's not, then we can change it because it doesn't have to be forever. But we've got to do something. Um, ah, these ideas have to be talked about. They have to be communicated. Um, focus on the positive elements. You'll lose you you all of the energy that you have directed into situations that you can't change could be directed into growth. Every thought that's in the back of your mind, oh my God, what if? Can I? Oh, I have to double check. Every that's all wasted energy. It's all wasted energy.
Mm. Yes, you are right.
Yeah, and we all know that because like it, if we spend like 1 hour worrying about a problem, that's 1 hour we could have spent enjoying life. So it comes down to this situation of time management. Um, um, rather than it's I think we all have a fear of letting go of things that if we didn't if we didn't check and double check and triple check that something is done, that it won't happen at all. The thing is, it's not going to happen the way we want it to in the time that we want it to happen, but it might still happen another way. How do I know this? I know this from my personal relationships. Um, like the I want to tidy the mess in the kids' room. The kids' room is a mess. Everything is everywhere, right? But really, the best thing I can do is leave it It's counterintuitive. It's counterintuitive. The best thing I can do is leave it and give my kids time to try to tidy it up. I could ask them if they could tidy it up, and then I could tidy it up with them. That's probably the best way to do it. I think with the kids is tidy it up with them together with them and share the experience. Um, but but it will probably still get done, not in a way that I think is the best. I don't know. You need to find other people to work with similar opinions to yourself, who are highly motivated, highly driven, and who can help you move forward. Yeah. Spending your time and energy with people who can't develop you is not developmental for you or your family. We all bring different skills to the table, so spending time with people who don't develop you. You know what that tells me? You're in the wrong room, right?
Mm.
If you know more than the other people know about what is going on, then you're in the wrong room. You need to put yourself in a room where you are the least intelligent and least educated person. That's the environment that you need to find, because you're probably a fast learner and you will pick up new skills very quickly and you will go forward. And the focus on the new skills will elevate hopefully your family and everything around about you, because we don't want things to be the same. We don't want things to constantly be the same.